Hello everyone and welcome to this episode. In this episode, I would like to talk to you about vibration and relationships. So in one of my previous videos, I talked about raising your vibration, and I explained a little bit about the quantum physics of it. So I'm gonna go over that briefly in case you haven't seen that. And then I'm going to connect it with how it works in relationships. So looking at vibration from a quantum physics perspective. So everything is energy, and every energy vibrates in a certain frequency. And this is what we discussed, where you have like the lower vibrations and the higher vibrations. And there has been tons of research to show what happens if you put, two frequencies together, one with a higher vibration and one with a lower vibration. And one example is an example with two clocks. If you put two clocks together, one that goes a little bit faster than the other, and you put them together, the one that goes slower will adjust itself to the faster one. So it will go in a faster pace. It will not be that they would adjust like that. It would actually be that the lower one is adjusting to the higher. And the same goes for things that they discovered in biology, in medicine, and things like that, is where you look at the vibration. It would always be that the lower one has to adjust itself to the higher one. It's quantum physics. It's just what happens. And they've shown this in research in many, many fields. It's in biology, it's in physics, it's in science, it's in medicine, it's in, you name it. Just look it up and you'll find it. All right, so we're at the point where we see that this is what happens. What happens with human beings is that human beings have thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So whenever two people get together, and there's one that's in a higher vibration and there's one in a lower vibration, so quantum physics says that the lower has to adjust itself to the higher. But when people have thoughts, feelings, and emotion, a very important emotion that comes up is fear. And fear can be very strong. So the one that tends to, has to get up feels a certain emotion, and in this case, let's call it fear. So a person is afraid to raise its vibration. What happens many times is that that person with the lower vibration will then affect the thoughts, feelings, emotion of the other person with the higher vibration, and it will cause that person to lower their vibration, because then there would be a match. Because quantum physics tells you that there has to be a match. Otherwise, you cannot be together. So in the case of, people choosing not to lower their vibration, or doing more consciousness work and actually staying in that higher vibration, or being able to stay there, or at least not being able to go all the way down, then what happens is that if the one that's here does not want to go up, for what reason, and this one is not choosing to go down, only one thing can happen, and that's go apart. And that's what you see in, a lot of interactions and a lot of friendships, where, and sometimes people going through this ascension, or people getting more conscious, they are like, hey, I'm losing friends, I'm losing people around me, I'm losing people in my family, for people that I've been friends with for so many years. And it's quantum physics, because this is what happens. And if one does not resonate, then there's only one other thing that can happen. So I hope this makes sense, and it can help you a little bit in understanding what's going on in your life. Then there's another thing. Because when you look at it, if you look at this place where one is in this higher vibration and one is in lower vibration, and you know, you've probably noticed it, there is this interaction where you have been, you know, letting yourself go down in vibration, but you come to a point where you're like, no, I'm not going to do that anymore. And the other one never decides to come up. And somehow the person is always, you know, is still there. It's like, and it could be a family member, but it could also be just somebody who's like constantly in your world, and you're like, why are they still in my world? Why do they keep coming back? Why, you know, it's almost like a pattern. And if you want to look at that, because quantum physics determines that if the one doesn't go up, or, you know, either with people, they don't go down, and you don't get this equal frequency, you know, quantum physics determines that you have to separate. I mean, as people, right? You know, because as an infinite being, there's no separation. But let's just say that, you know, it pulls people apart. If that doesn't happen, one decides to stay in this higher vibration and one is in this lower vibration, you have this constant interaction or constant struggle or constant fight. Look at it and ask if there's anything else going on here. And many times if you look at it, if you would ask, what is this? What is going on here? There is this energetic bond or cord between people that don't allow those people to go apart from each other. And I don't mean go apart in energetic separation, because, you know, you would never really separate it, but you can choose to go in a different direction and choose to detach, so that what the other person does or chooses does not affect you anymore. But with that energetic cord, you know, we would still have our ties, we still have contracts, we still have our promises, or whatever we made in this lifetime or any lifetime. It's keeping you stuck in this lifetime. So a good way of looking at that is asking the question, you know, what is this? Can I change it? Because if it's an energetic cord, you might want to consider releasing it. And there are ways to do that. There are ways to do it yourself. If you need some guidance in that, there are people who can do that. You can reach out to me. There are also other people that you might know that are allowed to assist you in that. But it's a good way to see if you can make sure that you get rid of the limitation of that connection. So you can actually choose you, and you have chosen you to want to be in that higher vibration, and you have chosen that, and knowing that it means, you know, letting go of some people. And even if you talk about family members and you're like, yeah, you know, it's my mother, and I'm not really comfortable with actually the idea of letting go or not being in contact. It's not about being in contact or not being in contact. It's about the interaction, and it's about the limitations that are there for you to choose what works for you. So even if it's a family member, or even if it's your mother that you know, you're still like, you know, I don't want to remove them from my life. Even removing this energetic cord gets rid of the limitations. And it can actually help both of you to create a healthier relationship if you choose to. And even if it's just on your part where you are changing things, as you're doing that, you are also changing something for the other. Because, you know, it's this connection, and if that connection changes on one side, it will affect the other side. So look into that. Yeah, I guess that's just some information that I wanted to share here. You know, I hope this helps looking at vibrations and how it works and the interaction between people, and still some things that you might run into that are still not working for you, and looking at, so what is that? How can I make this work? What else is possible that I haven't considered? And looking at the situation and creating greater for yourself. So I hope this helps. I've given you a lot of information, and it's just amazing that, doing this and just giving you my perspective might contribute to you, and it's going to help you on your journey. So thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more, you're free to like it or subscribe, and I'll make sure to post more videos like this. So let me know, and if there is a topic that you might be interested in, feel free to comment, and I can look into that and see what we can talk about. So cool, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.